Yes. Hello, Village.
And
It's Friday, y'all.
It's first Friday.
And not a minute too soon.
Man, I tell you, I thought yesterday was Friday. So listen, I'm happy to have this be Friday.
Yes. Yes.
I agree.
I'm glad to. You were gonna say something, Tamisha?
I don't remember.
Oh, sorry. I think I ran over your whatever it is you were gonna say. I felt like I did.
Probably just intro. We didn't do our names. We didn't do welcome to the village.
Don't they know who we are? Hola, Village.
Yeah, they should, right? They should
know.
They should know us.
Y'all
I like
should
that.
know us
I like
by now.
They should know us.
Yes.
We can folk. Y'all know.
And we're back with episode 19.
We are?
Yes, the last of the teens.
Yes.
Last of the teens. Come on now. We getting a little grown.
Yes. And spring.
So
spring.
Here comes spring.
Yes.
I know a lot of places are getting snow still, but spring
it does not seem like. Yeah, for some it does not seem like there is
most
spring.
Yeah.
For most of the US.
Yeah. Been having a time. Been having a time.
So I'm gonna share something I read this week. I should say this week, today, this week. The Cherokee Nation.
Today is a part of this week.
Yeah, it was this week. It was like today. The Cherokee Nation is asking Jeep to stop using their name on their Grand Cherokee. And how about Jeep said, no, we're gonna still use it. This was their first request of Jeep to ask them not to use it. The chief himself went there, Chief Hoskin. He went there and he asked Jeep, and Jeep said no. They think that they respect the name, they respect the people, they show the people as powerful and all of this. But the chief said that Jeep is making money off of their name. So I expect that to go further.
So question.
Yes.
How can you tell me that you respect me and my people and my name if I'm telling you that the use of my name is disrespectful? How does that? Oh, okay. Oh, is that the tea you drinking?
That's the tea. Yeah, it was right on time. Yes.
I didn't even. I drank it because I was thirsty, but yeah. If the tea fits.
Yes.
If the tea fits.
Yes.
But
I mean, look how
isn't that how it goes though?
Mm-hmm.
You see how long it took Washington football team to become Washington football team and remove all of their logos.
And
I know that had been.
And so they only did it because it was getting so much traction in the news.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why Redskins removed the name, stopped using the Washington stopped using the Redskin name, and said that they expect if the Jeep story gets more news press, that they'll stop using it too. You know, it's not a problem till everyone knows it's a problem.
Well, and it's not a problem until it starts costing you money.
Yes.
That's what I have observed.
Yes.
Yeah. If it looks like it's going to start costing you dollars, then all of a sudden it makes sense to
yes, because they said
to be woke,
respectful. They said that the Grand Cherokee is the number one seller. They sold over 200,000 of them last year, so it's their number one selling truck. So I think it is a problem. It is when it starts showing them in their money. They'll change it.
Do you know people aren't buying it because it's called the Grand Cherokee? They'd buy it if it was just Jeep Grand Truck.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
So
you're absolutely right.
For me, it's one of those things where You shouldn't have to do what's right only when everybody's looking. Doing what's right is just doing what's right.
It's doing what's right when no one's looking. That's who you are.
Mm,
Yes, that's called integrity.
Mm-hmm.
come
Not
on,
everyone has that.
come on.
And we know the big companies don't.
Okay,
Well, I guess we shouldn't.
Not all.
generalize.
Yes.
There are some that do, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, interesting. Very interesting.
In that same article, it said the Florida state came to agreement with the Seminole tribe, and they provide scholarships
Mm-hmm,
to the Seminole tribe, and that's where they compromised to keep the name.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw that, but they can get rid of it too.
Mm-hmm.
If the people say we don't like it, it's offensive, stop doing this, stop portraying us in a way that's, who am I? I'm just kid today.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not. Oh, look, let me drink some more tea.
Drink your tea. Drink your tea, but now. Uh-oh. So I did. So I said,
To that,
go ahead, Minda.
I said I may need to go to that institution in the future. Let me just drink my tea.
That part. I did see something. I said I was not ready, but I did see something that I thought was interesting. Again, it was, I think, a video of an article that I saw, so I don't know too much about it, but I did think it was interesting that there is an Amazon plant. Please don't make me say where, because I don't remember where, not because I'm afraid they'll come get me where. But they are attempting to unionize. And I saw they said somewhere around 70 to 80% of their workers are Black female. And Amazon is flooding them with anti-union text messages and email and propaganda. And they're saying, oh, we're a family, and we can work things out. Things are always better when we just do things ourselves and not bring someone else in. But the workers are saying, especially in these COVID conditions, they're realizing how much they need someone to speak for them and to represent them. Because I know we saw several news stories about Amazon plants having to shut down at some points because people were, like, waves of people were getting COVID in those factories.
Yeah.
So I thought that was very interesting that all that money y'all making Amazon, you don't want your people to unionize.
Yeah, don't want to pay them more.
And they work. You know how many
Yes.
people ordering things from
In my house daily.
Listen.
Daily over here.
Listen.
Yeah.
We keep
that's
Amazon busy.
Working. Some working. Ooh.
Yes. I come from a union house, which is crazy because my mom and dad worked for the same company, but my mom was management and my dad was not. And he was like the vice president of his union. So negotiations time, and they even went so far as striking at some points when I was growing up. So it was very tense, not tense in my house, but tense the situation.
Right.
They were very good at keeping that stuff out of the home. But I say I grew up in a union home because my dad was very union. When I got my first teaching job, that was one of his first questions. Did you join the union? Sadly, it was at a charter school, so there was no union. And every year that I worked at that charter school, it's like, they don't have no union yet. They don't have a union yet. It's no union. They don't have a union. So finally, when we did unionize, we're actually the first charter school in the state to unionize. I was a big part of it because my dad had preached to us from very young age about the importance of having unions. And I remember going to my principal and saying, listen, I need you to know I'm a part of this group that's bringing the union here, not because you're a horrible boss, but because in the event that you leave and someone else comes in, we just need standard practices. There are things that you do as a great boss that should just continue even if you're not here. Right. And he understood completely. And I do believe that unions can help in those types of instances. So I tell you, those few years where there was no union, the kids would tell you such and such is about to get fired. They called her down to the principal's office. Well, why? Just because. I'm like, oh, okay.
Wow.
Just firing folks. Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I want to keep an eye out on that.
Yes.
How Amazon handles that, is that will tell me some things about them as a company, how they handle their employees attempting to unionize.
Yeah.
I saw a headline saying that they were Amazon was charged with a lot of racial discrepancies. So I was like, oh, I wonder what it's about, but I didn't read it. I just saw the headline. I didn't read the article. So now I'm going to go back and find that article and read that and see if that was related.
As in, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same with Walmart. Walmart will shut down an entire store if you're trying to unionize and pick up and move someplace else so that their employees don't unionize.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Walmart is there. They will fire you if you even mention union.
Why do you think that is?
Walmart might come and get me. So I might be a little scared of the Walmart folks. They might come and get me. But because they don't want to pay their people. And this is from people I know who have worked at Walmart. They, what is it, 40 hours to be full-time? And once you're full-time, you have to have benefits and everything. They'll work you 38, 39 and a half.
Yes.
They'll push you right to that limit, and because they don't want to, they don't pay as well as they should for all the money that they make. And so yeah, it's if we can continue to get by doing as least as possible for our employees, they're gonna do it.
Well, I think that's true of most people. It's true of most people. It's very human.
Yes.
Very human. Interesting. You mentioned something when you were talking about your parents. You said your mom was in management. And so I was just curious. And I know you still have both of your parents, so but I'm just curious about that whole dynamic in a relationship. If the woman is particularly, you said it was in the same company, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I was just curious about how.
Yes. They weren't in the same building. It was one of the big phone companies. So she worked inside on like the call center side, and my dad worked outside. I told people my dad climbed poles for a living because he, would climb the poles, have to connect the phone cables and all of that stuff. So they weren't in the same branch, or she wasn't his supervisor or anything like that, but same company. When the union covered the inside employees and the outside employees. So, when the negotiations went on, they went on for everyone. And they would talk a little, and I don't know if they'll listen, and I don't think they realize how much I would listen, just because that kind of stuff always interested me. Like we watched the news, you watch the news with your parents, and you would see people with picket signs and it's not fair, give us a raise, and all that stuff. Like all that stuff intrigued me. So whenever they would have little small talks about it, my ears will always perk up, because I want to know, what's going on, what would cause, people to have to stand outside and hold signs, but then what will also cause people to look. If it's to that extent, I feel like, okay, maybe we should sit down and talk. I should listen to you. If you're to the point
Something's wrong.
where you're saying, yeah, I'm not going to work, and not only am I not going to work, I'm going to stand outside in the hot sun with a sign and yell at anybody who does go to work. We gotta have, like, there's something going on there. Yeah. Tell my daddy I went on a union rant on the podcast. All because of him. Well, last podcast, we did not talk about the fact that it's Black History Month. Last month was Black History Month. What did you all do to celebrate?
I don't know if you call it celebrate Black History Month. I don't know what you do to celebrate Black History Month. I'm Black all year round.
Come on, 365.
So, I don't know.
You woke up every day.
Still Black.
Come on, and beautiful.
So I didn't do any celebrations. Mindell, did you do any celebrations?
I did not. I will say I saw people's posts on social media. There are a few people who attempt to highlight lesser known Black people, and I can appreciate that, because the tendency, especially in schools, is to celebrate, is it 3? I know 2 for sure. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Rosa Parks.
Yes.
Is there a 3rd? Was it pretty much? It's pretty much.
Yeah, those are the 2.
Pretty much the 2. So I appreciated that. Yeah. But I. All right, let's bring out all the Black people. I do.
March them out. Line them up. Yeah. I was happy that at our school I worked with a teacher who, our digital design teacher, and she was putting together images for Black history. And I was really happy that in our conversation, she said, I don't want to use the same images or the same people that we always see. So she reached out to some people, I'm assuming myself and some other Black people that worked at our school, to ask for some other names. And she had done some research and she sent some names. So it was nice that someone else recognized that, we see the same every year.
I think too that if Carter G. Woodson was here, I think he would have thought that by now we would be recognizing these people, and I'm thinking again about school, in science, in math, in history, and that it wouldn't just be, oh, it's February, let's
talk about
major accomplishments. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, would we have music if it wasn't for Black people? What music exists that did not originate? I'll wait. So that's my thing with the whole Black History Month and February, and Yeah, that's my whole thing. I almost said something else. Let me drink some more.
You running out of tea over there, Mendel. I don't
Mhm.
know. you better watch out. Because once Mendel runs out of tea, folks, it's on and popping. Grab your popcorn. It's on and popping.
So for the people who it really matters to, they look for ways to make sure that, because I know that that's what I did. I looked for people of color, period,
Right.
to put before my students and say, hey, isn't this amazing? So and so did this. This person did the other. So yeah, I'm a tad over.
That's what I was going to ask. When you were in the classroom, it was year round, just as we are studying, as we are going through our day. If we're speaking in science, we'll,
Charles Drew. I don't know how a person could be teaching science and not somewhere along the way talk about Charles Drew and plasma. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, it happens.
Oh, I know it does. I know it does. I saw on the news this mom who she realized that her child wasn't getting anything during the month of February. I guess that school, they weren't celebrating it at all. And so she decided that she would do some research, and she had the young lady, she looked at Black women and their accomplishments, and she dressed up and took some pictures, and it was pretty cool, pretty cool. And I believe that in a lot of instances, I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say that, but for a lot of people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And so if it matters to you, you look for ways.
Right.
If it doesn't, you don't. Yeah.
And that's sad. The part about it doesn't matter. That's what's sad. Yeah, I don't have any tea. I don't have anything to drink. I came unprepared. So I'm gonna just have to stop talking.
And not.
Like this. Smiling and nodding, folks. That is all.
But I like the way the parent took the initiative and taught her child. I think parents need to get back to that headspace.
Yeah.
When the school not doing what you think it should be done, educate your own.
And you're supposed to anyway, as a parent. So yeah, little girl was dressed up like Phyllis Wheatley. I know there are many adults who probably never heard, So, what are you gonna do?
Keep educating the babies. That's what we'll do.
And the grown-ups.
Especially the grown-ups.
And the grown-ups, yeah. And the grown-ups. It's all good.
Because I was just listening to the news, I think it was. Maybe it was a commercial, and was saying that something about equity.
The news and the commercial.
I think it was a commercial. It's a commercial for news. Commercial for the news. I don't think it was the news. I think it was the commercial for the news.
Okay.
And it was saying that either the House or the Senate, somebody just passed an equality bill, and I was like, so we need a bill to know that we all equal. Like we all people. So we need it written on paper that everybody's equal.
Everybody?
It was talking about the LBG. I'm gonna get the letters wrong, but
LGBTQ.
Yes. It was talking about their community and how they have all equal rights. I'm like, well, they're people, so I don't think that part matter. They're people. Just don't get
when you have been considered 3/5, or you can consider someone 3/5 of a person. It's not hard to see how a group can need something in writing to say that we are equal and we have the same rights as everyone else. You know, we talk about history, you trace the history, and you know, you'll see the need for that from quite far, long time ago. Smile and nod. Mhm. Mhm. Oh, so speaking of news, do you remember growing up when the news would actually delve into and go through like whole news stories? I feel like now the news is just a bunch of highlights.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really them going through and going in detail on a story. It's literally just this happened and move on to the next thing, and there's never a comeback or follow up to it. Why do you think that is?
That's who we are now. We
Just
are scrollers.
yes, you got to get the gist of it
Scrollers
in those
and
first few
just,
seconds and be gone.
yeah.
Yep, I think you're right, Mandel.
But I
Mhm.
want to know more. I need to hear more.
You want to know more.
Yes,
Most people
they just want the
scrolling,
headline. Yep.
scrolling. Yeah, they're scrolling. Hmm. Scrolling, scrolling.
Yes, I think you're right.
You know though, earlier when I was asking you about, don't talk about your parents then. Don't be specific to your parents. Lord. I was I was curious about the dynamic in a relationship. A woman is in management or
Mhm.
a woman is making more money than the man, that whole thing. The other thing that came to mind was difference in working for a woman and in working for a man. Because have you both had both
Yes.
experiences? Yeah.
Mhm.
Q, you look like you need some tea.
I will say, and I think I've heard it, you know, this conversation has come up. I've seen it quite a few times in other places, that it takes a very, I guess, secure man to be with a woman who is in a higher position or position of authority. Um, I believe it can work.
Mhm.
I believe it can work. It's really just a matter of the specific man and the specific woman and how they have crafted their relationship or built their relationship. But I can see it going left as well. Mm-hmm.
So what do you think each would have to be in order for it to go right?
Understanding. For me in a relationship, and people, you know, you see these little questionnaire things on Facebook, like who wears the pants, so basically like who's the boss in the relationship. I don't believe there's a boss. Like I
Mhm.
don't believe there's anyone who's going to tell you what to do. At the same time, I do believe that there is a head of the house. But
Yeah.
just because you're the head of the house doesn't mean you come in and say, wash them dishes right now. Whoa, whoa, that's not how, you know. So
Right.
I think,
Right.
you know, those types of things have to be, they have to be on the same level with those types of things. What you do in your career and what money you make and, you know, what positions you hold are great. But when we're in the home, we're a couple, we're in a
Mhm.
relationship. You are not the manager or the CEO. When you come home, you're Kia. I'm not, you know, the janitor, or I'm not the whatever. When I come home, I'm Kia. That's it. So I think those types of things, you know, that has to be the mindset, or it helps to have a mindset of, you know, what I do is not who I am at home.
Mm-hmm. I think you
It's
explained
not
that
easy.
perfect, Kia. Having a different relationship for having, offers a different relationship for your relationship. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, I think you're right, because just because you're the boss at work doesn't mean you come home and be the boss at home too. And I don't think there is a boss. I totally agree with that. We're gonna make these decisions together. A lot of compromise. A lot of compromise.
Now, I will say, I have a friend who was a single mother for a very long time and made all the decisions. It was just she and her child. And when she met her now husband, she wanted him make all the decisions. I don't want to have to think about or
Done it
do
enough.
anything. You know, if you say we're switching from this cable company to that cable company, cool. You go ahead and, you know, do it. I'm not, you know, going to, I don't want that stress. So for some relationships, having someone make all the decisions could work. You know, clearly Misha and I are not those women. we are all about nah, what you're not gonna do is tell me that we're doing ABC. We'll have a discussion. But for
Yes.
some people, depending on your stage in life, like there may come a point in time where Misha or I feel like, you know what, just handle it. You don't have to come to me. We don't have to talk about it. Just handle it. I think knowing where you are as a person and then knowing where your partner is helps with building that relationship. There's no one way to have a relationship. It's really what fits for, you know, for the people.
And you have to trust that other person to make the best decisions too. You can't second guess their decisions. You're gonna have to let their decisions stand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some people want to lead and you don't know where you're going. How
Mm-hmm.
can you lead me if you are lost?
Mm-hmm.
Mendel?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Yes, I agree. I agree with what you both said. I agree. There has to be an understanding. Whatever that understanding is,
Mm-hmm.
there needs to be one.
It has to work for
Agreed.
both.
Agreed. Yes.
Mhm. You have to be
Agreed.
happy. I can't call anyone else's relationship and what makes them happy. I can call mine and what makes me happy. Mhm.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah.
That was a good topic,
I
Mendel.
Yes, it was.
I was just curious when I heard you talking. I said, interesting. I think wait. I think every guy I have ever dated, been in a relationship with, I made more.
Mhm.
I made more. And I was a little older. Yeah. But yeah, you have to be, I believe, particularly for a man, I think you have to really be okay with who you are.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
To be okay with who you are.
And what you're bringing to the table. If
Yeah.
I think the problem comes in if you are unsure or you feel like you don't bring anything,
Yeah.
then that's where issues can come in.
Yes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting. And male boss, female boss?
I've had them both.
Yeah, I have to.
I have 3.
You have
Wait,
three?
3.
No, I'm just like she said 2. I might as well be
Oh,
number 3.
I was like 3. I was like, wait, like
Well,
3 what?
I've had both of them before too.
I don't know. For me, I think it's a person thing. It's not a gender
mm-hmm,
thing.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So I'm not one of those, I need a male or I need a female. I
mm-hmm.
need a boss who has certain
Qualities.
qualities. That's important to me. And I've seen them in all of my bosses, but I've also seen some other things in all of my bosses. So it's not for me, it's not a race, it's not a gender, it's really just what was the thing? People don't quit jobs, they quit bosses.
Quit bosses.
Quit bosses, yeah. Yes.
I read that a couple years ago, and I think more and more, I think I believe that.
There is truth to that. I agree. There is truth to that. Yeah. Yeah.
There.
Interesting. Yes. Agreed.
I agree. It's the qualities that make them a great boss. And just like in a relationship, everybody not meant to lead. Everyone's not meant to be a boss.
Come on.
Everyone don't have those qualities.
Come on. Now, that's not a word, Misha. That's not a word. You see, because we're all teachers, so I guess the principal is the thing. You hear about some of your colleagues are getting their license certificate to be an administrator, and sometimes I think like, whoa, I've seen you, or I've heard, dealt with students who you dealt with. I've seen you deal with students, and I've seen you deal with colleagues. I've seen you deal with me, and you want to run a school? You want to be you want to be in charge of stuff?
Yeah, there's a few I have to pass on.
Quite a few. And then there are those who you feel like, you should like that. That's for you. I can see you leading and running a school. So, you see them both. I just know that people, and Misha, and I'm sure you had this question from almost your first or second year of teaching. So when are you going to become a principal? Do you want to be a principal? Do you want to be an assistant principal? Like, people just assume because you're a teacher, that's your next step. Like, that's what you want to do next. It's like, not everybody should be. Like, if all teachers become assistant principals and principals, who's going to teach? Who's going to teach?
Yeah. Yes. Qualities and not gender. Qualities. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Qualities. Agreed. Yeah. Some teachers shouldn't be teachers.
Now that's a word, Kia, right there. Now that's true.
Come on, I have a couple dollars. Where's the plate?
Yes.
Around here. Let me put some dollars in the plate, because pass around here, please. I have something to put in there.
Mercy. Teachers. Can I say too, when I was teaching elementary school and I started dreading waking up in the morning, and it wasn't because I didn't like what I was doing. I've always enjoyed teaching. It was time for a change. It was time for a different experience. And so I made that change. I think there are some people who need to make that change.
Yes.
And they're, for whatever reason, they're not. And it shows. It shows.
I don't know if I said this on here on one of our earlier episodes or just in conversation, but one of our district people was having a conversation with her. She was in charge of the English section of the district, and she was interviewing for a position higher than her current position. And she told me if she didn't get it, she was going back into the classroom. And I couldn't figure out, she's great at what she does. She's very knowledgeable. She, understood the teacher perspective. She was helpful. She was just a great fit. And she said to me that I think she said 5 to 7 years, she did something different. And she had been in the classroom for 5 to 7 years. And so she applied for this job. She'd been in this job for 5 to 7 years. So she was applying for another job. And if she didn't get that job, she was going back into the classroom 5 to 7 years. But her mindset was, like you said, Mendel, she wasn't staying in one place. She wasn't giving herself the chance to feel like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to do this. And that was like, whoa. Like is bold. That's bold. And there are not a lot of people who would take that on and actually act on it. And she got the other position. So yeah.
Life is short.
Yes.
It's too short to be miserable and doing something that you don't want to do. So
Especially when you can make a simple change as a new location, a new position. When the change is easier to be made and still in your own field, there's no reason to sit there and be miserable.
I will say though, change is not easy. It's not easy. And so at the same time, I understand when people just stay, because it's what it's what you're comfortable with, and and they know you, and so I do understand that.
Yeah.
I do understand that. Yeah. But I will say again, life is short. It's short.
Short, and it's not promised.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah. Are we winding down?
I have one more thing I want to discuss before we wind down.
Okay.
This week, Mr. Kevin Tyler. Sorry, Siri heard my voice. Kevin Tyler donated $20 million to Morgan State University. In the 60s, he applied. He went there for a semester or two, and then he had to drop out because he couldn't afford to go to college. So he dropped out. He got a job at UPS, and that man worked his way through UPS from a delivery driver all the way to the boardroom.
Wow.
And when they first started their donation, they started off with, I think it was $5 million. And then they were like, okay, since it's the pandemic, I think we need to do more and help more people, him and his wife. So they upped their donation to $20 million. And it's helping anyone that's in financial need, that want to go to Morgan State. And they helping even people out of state.
Wow.
I think I have a little cousin. I want to say that's one of the schools he's considering. Morgan State. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Aww.
I thought it was a great story. I'm like,
great.
he didn't go to college, but now he's making.
He wants to make a way for other people.
Others.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
His scholarship has helped 222 students so far, and either partial scholarship or full scholarships. They do both.
That is fantastic. That really is awesome. Awesome.
And all they have like minimum financial need, and then a 2.5 GPA, and you qualify.
Nice.
That is fantastic.
Yes, yeah. I read that story. I was like, oh my gosh, it's a great story.
That is.
It's when you think about, I couldn't do this, but I think everybody the chance to do this, and you have a way to make it happen. Man.
Yeah.
Think about if it had been in place when he was in school.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He did well though.
Yes.
He did well.
And I wonder, like, I wish they would have said what he was interested in when he went to college. Yeah. What would have been his alternative path? I would really like to know that.
He did well.
He worked his way up through UPS.
Yeah, he did well. Good for him. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, so if your cousin is thinking about Morgan State, make sure they look into that scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll have to check. But I want to say that was one of the schools he's considering. Yeah, that is great. Great.
Nice.
Yes. So we talked about February being Black History Month.
Mm-hmm.
And you know March is
Our birthday?
Is it
Our birthday?
women month, Hispanic
Women's
women?
history. Is it women's history?
Is it
Women's
women?
history.
it is women's history. It is, yeah, both Kia and I have birthdays in the month of March.
March babies, March babies, March babies. Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought that's where you were going. That
Yes,
that was a natural progression. Black history, our birthdays. Like, yes, let's keep the party going.
It's still a natural progression. Women's
Yes.
history.
Yes.
We are making it. We are
Yes,
making
we are.
it. So yes,
Mhm.
yeah. So this morning I heard on the news, NASA's DC headquarters is being renamed for Hidden Figure scientist Mary Jackson. It was decided, when was it decided? I want to say it was last year that they decided to do it, but the actual ceremony took place today, and her granddaughters, they were expecting her to be there. Mary Jackson was the one, who was it? Janelle Monáe played her in the movie. Yeah, she was the NASA's first Black female engineer.
Yeah.
And so they're going to name the headquarters, that building in DC, after her. Yeah,
that's wonderful.
that movie, I look at it every year, at least once, every year, because it does something to me when I watch it. I have the movie poster in my office. I look at it and I'm like, yeah. Yeah. So inspirational.
Yes.
So tell me, how many stories like that do you think there are that
are hidden?
Mm-hmm.
Countless.
For everything that we use.
Countless.
For everything that happened.
Yeah.
Everything.
And that I feel a way about that. It makes me feel a way.
Why?
Because I want to know. I want to know that Hidden Figures, when it came out and we went to see it, and then we took the kids to see, like, that was a proud moment. Mm-hmm. Like you said, like, it made me feel like, man, like, this is like, this was, we did this, like, we were a part of this. Is we're led to believe, and I say we're led to believe, but people will say, well, we never said that. Yeah, but you never said we were.
You just leave us out.
You leave us out. So we are led to believe that we as a people have not contributed. And we know we have, but to have the concrete stories, to hear it, to see it, to read it, to know it, it just does something different, I believe. And I just feel a way that there are other stories out there, countless other stories out there that we won't know about.
So we have to do like that mother, and we have to take it upon ourselves to search for those stories. We have to take it upon ourselves. We cannot obviously rely on others to bring those to life. So yeah, that responsibility is one that we have to take on, and we also have to tell our stories. We have to tell stories, and we also have to tell our stories. Yes. So yeah. Meet people. Yeah. But oh my goodness. Yeah. So she died in 2005. at the age, she was 83 when she died.
Mm.
Worked at NASA for 34 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 34 years. She started as a research mathematician. And
And she had to fight it.
helped to land the first man on the moon in 1969. Yeah.
She had to fight to become
Amazing.
that engineer. She
Oh,
had to fight for her
absolutely.
education.
Absolutely. They were not just going to allow her
Mhm.
to do it. No. Yeah, well, let that be a lesson to all of us.
Mhm.
Sometimes you have to fight.
Mhm. For what you believe you want and you
Sometimes you
need in
have
your
to.
life.
Sometimes you have
Mhm.
to fight. Yes. Amazing, 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 amazing. Amazing. Yeah.
Mendel says sometimes you have to
Amazing.
fight.
Sometimes you do.
Mhm.
Sometimes you do. And there are many ways to fight.
Yes.
I feel as though I fight.
Mhm.
I feel as though I fight. So yeah.
You don't have to hit something.
No,
Mhm.
no, nope. That would not be the wise way to fight. Yeah, you have to be smart about this. But
Mhm.
yes, I fight. I might not look like it, but I'm a warrior.
Okay.
I believe me. If y'all want Mendel Miller about that life,
So
you
yeah.
don't want those Mendel Miller problems. Trust.
So yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. So be encouraged, village.
Yes.
I feel like those were two A-worthy moments, but
They really
probably had
were.
like
Yes.
three. The mom
Yes.
with her daughter,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
and Mr.
Everybody started
What's
with
his
an
name?
A.
Tyler.
Tyler. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. And then the Hidden Figures women. What was it? Maybe a year ago, Katherine Johnson
Yes.
passed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yep.
Yes. Amazing.
So now I think we're winding down.
Yes.
On this fabulous Friday,
Yes.
Yes.
filled
Yes,
with
we are.
fun facts. Come on, alliteration. Come on, alliteration. Y'all hear me? Y'all hear me?
Yes.
Little something, you know.
That was good. That was good,
My
Keith.
goodness.
That was
Thank you. Thank you. I try.
that was good. That was
Mhm.
good. Yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So what do we usually do at this time? Why do
We
I feel like this is our first time, kind of, sort of? I'm like, what do
Because
we
it's not in our regular format.
regular? Okay.
Yes. We're trying this new format, so it's not our
Yeah.
regular format. So
Yeah.
you don't know what's coming up.
I might need a teleprompter or something so I can.
A little
I'm like,
outline on the
I'm
index
like,
card.
If we were in our studio,
Okay, come Kia.
if we were in our studio,
Go ahead,
Mendel
Kia.
Miller, there would be a prompter letting us know, and the
I'm working.
producer would be in the back pointing.
I'm working through that whole thing. I'm working
Yes.
through that whole thing. I'm not completely there yet, but I'm working.
Mhm.
I'm
Oh
working.
yeah,
Yes, I'm working.
it's coming, y'all.
I'm working.
Be ready.
I'm working. Yes.
Yes. Yes, I do. Before we completely wind down, I just want to give my son a shout out. My Jalen. He wrote a poem for Black History, and I say it was for Black History. He said it really was just what he was feeling at the time.
Hmm.
And the poem was so powerful. On our next, I'll see if maybe he'll come in and read it. Maybe on the next episode, he'll do a guest appearance and read it. I
Yes.
think you all would love it. But I want to shout him out because he likes to write poetry, but never shares his poetry. It's a secret. He's a teenager. You know, everything's a secret. Life is a secret. He's got the answers. But this one he shared, and he allowed me to actually make a part of his poem into a t-shirt.
It
And
was
so I was
awesome.
selling his t-shirts to family members and then to a couple of people around campus they bought the t-shirt, and he saw one of Mr. Davis, Reggie Davis, who was our guest, I think about this time last year. He was our guest. He bought the shirt, and Jalen said he saw him wearing it today, and he said it just made him feel really good to see his poem and to see that Mr. Davis was supporting him. So just a little shout out for my baby, and opening up and starting to express himself through his poetry.
That is great.
Yes, congrats.
That is great.
Thank you.
I did read the part that he had on his shirt. I really liked it. I was like, when I read it, I was like, oh, let me read your shirt. And then when I saw the initials, I'm like, those are your initials.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like, it's my poem. I'm like, I love it, baby.
Yep. My little man is not a little man anymore. He feels some type of way if he heard me saying that. Well, Mandel. All right, so we had 3 A-worthy moments.
Yes, we did.
So we are going to at least 3. This episode might need to be called A.
Yes.
We really did have quite a few A-worthy moments. For everybody, we over here at the village, we want to give y'all your
Hey!
Yes. I like this. This was nice.
Yes.
This was nice. There was no pressure. So thank you all for listening. Episode 19, our last of the teens.
And if you haven't, join our Facebook group, The Real Village Podcast. You can leave us comment on our website, thevillagepodcast.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Real Village Podcast. We'd love to hear from you on all 3 of our forums.
Yes, we sure would. So, everybody in the village, with that being said, Michelle?
I seem to recall that we used to charge the people. We're not charging.
Oh, a charge!
Yes.
Mercy! Look at that. It's been okay, maybe it has been a while. You all need a charge. Thank you, Mendel, for stopping us before we left without giving them a charge. Here is your charge. Do some research. Learn something about someone that was Black history that wasn't someone you already know. Dig a little deeper. If you are into science, research some scientists. If you're into arts and entertainment, research artists and entertainers. If you are into education, law, whatever you're into, I guarantee you that there is someone of African descent who did something really important in that field.
And
find it.
Can we add women?
Yes. African descent or a woman did something extremely important. Your charge is to not only find it, but share.
That's what I'm
share it with others.
Yes.
And with that being said, village out.
Bye, y'all.